In this video, I'm breaking down the personal brands you see on screen. People who have built audiences over 100,000 and businesses doing millions per year. And I'm gonna show you exactly what they all have in common and how you can take the same blueprint and use it to attract the right buyers and close high-ticket deals. Now, before we get into it, you probably heard that you don't need a massive following to make a ton of money with your coaching offer. And that is true. The math is simple. If your offer is 3K, you only need 3 buyers to add extra 9K into your monthly revenue. Let's say if your offer is 5K, you only need 2 buyers to add 10K. There are people doing over $50,000 a month with less than 10K followers. You probably know this, but here's what nobody is talking about. Most founders are building their content strategy around views, around going viral. No intention, no clarity on what they want their content to do. And if you want to become an influencer, sure, that's your game. But if you're a founder, a coach, a consultant, someone who is selling high ticket, chasing views isn't the way, because views don't equal money. When you post for views, you attract random people, kids, brokies, people who will never buy. But if you have 300 people watching, and half of them are qualifying people who have money, people who are willing to invest, and if you close 2 of them at 3K, that's already $6,000 from just 300 views. So 300 qualifying views is worth more than 100,000 random views, and that's how small creators are making over $50,000 a month. So here is a little bit about me. I run a done for you content offer for coaches where I build and run your entire personal brand content system, and I handle the scripting, editing, strategy, all of that. One of my clients for generated $7,000 from a single video with 2,000 to 4,000 tickets and cousin went from 1,000 followers to 100,000 followers in 6 months and scaled his agency to 30K a month. And I pulled over 10 million organic views for him alone. And enough with the proof and credibility. So here's what we are covering. First, who you're actually talking to and how to know them deeply. Second, what you stand for or brand identity, which makes you stand out in a saturated market. Third, the content strategy that the top brands use to turn all of that into money. First, who you talking to. ICP and Dream Follower Mastery. All of these brands you see on screen, they're not making content for only one person. They're making it for 2. The first person is your dream follower. The person who might not have a problem that your offer solves, but they fuck with you. You guys share the same entrepreneurial path, same values, same diet, same mindset, same beliefs. Basically, they vibe with you. Think about it like your dream follower is your close friend, someone you want to build a deeper connection with. And the second person is your ICP, Ideal Customer Profile. The person who has a problem, who has a budget and is ready to invest. And I'm not talking about entrepreneurs aged 25 to 40. I'm talking about knowing the exact field that wakes them at 3 AM. The specific thing they've already tried and that didn't work. The sentence they're typing into Google at midnight. Their selfish desire, their identity desire, their limiting beliefs, their biggest frustrations. You have to know all of that deeply. So ICP is just a dream follower with the problem your offer solves. Just think about it like your social circle. Your dream followers are your homies, and your ICP is a friend in the circle who has a problem that you can solve, and he already trusts you because you have built a deeper connection with him, which is friendship. So when you say, yo bro, I can fix that problem, and he's not gonna be hesitant about buying your stuff. So the question is, why do we create content for both avatars? It's simple, because we want our total addressable market, aka TAM, to be as broad as possible. When you're only creating content for your ICP, your TAM is going to be small and you won't get as many qualified eyeballs. Look at Charlie Morgan. His dream followers are ambitious online business owners who want to become a millionaire at a young age like him. And there are millions of young people out there who want to become rich and successful, who struggle with mindset, productivity, and belief. And within those dream followers, there are agency owners, coaches who are already making money but can't consistently fill their pipeline, which is the exact problem that Charlie's offer solves. If Charlie only made content for his ICP, he wouldn't get enough views to even reach them. Now you know who you're talking to, but knowing your audience means nothing if they can tell you what you stand for the second they land on your page, and that is point 2, brand identity, or what you stand for. So let me ask you something. When I say Iman Gadzhi, what do you see? Azam Hamid retiring his mark, the old money vibes, and that is not an accident. When I say Nick Setting, you see profile funnel, non-documentary content. When I say Shelby said, you think of her as #1 female sales coach, the pink Porsche, the luxury lifestyle that she has. Suigo, Asian, smart, university student building $1 million business working only 4 to 5 hours a day. Someone who's able to make every single client a personal friend. When I say Alex Hormozi, you see free value, work ethic, his business knowledge, the guy who gave away more than most people charge for. When I say Charlie Morgan, you see raw whiteboard, no production, just pure conviction. And that is branding. And every single one of those associations were built intentionally. So the question you need to answer is, when somebody hears your name, what do you want them to see? What do you want them to feel? And just as important, what do you not want them to associate with you? Because once you have the clarity, your content has a job. Every single post, every single reel, every single video should reinforce that one thing you want to own in your audience mind. For example, my client Kirsten, his brand associated with the way he delivers value through raps and the visual that he uses. So once somebody hears his name, they think, oh, the content guy who raps. And that is how you stand out in a saturated market. So now you have your brand identity locked in. And the last piece is how you turn all of this into content that actually compounds. And that is number 3, your content strategy, or what you post. And here is a content strategy that the top info brands actually use. And it is way simpler than you think. So first of all, they don't chase views at all. They don't post randomly. Every single piece of content they make has one job, and it falls into one of 3 categories: connection, value, and proof. Connection content, or top of funnel, is how you attract your dream followers. This is where you're gonna be sharing your beliefs, your lifestyle, your worldview, your journey, your philosophy. And you're not selling anything here, you're just showing who you are and how you move. And the value content, or middle of funnel. And this is where you're gonna be building authority with your audience. You solve the exact problem that your ICP has, change their belief system, and pre-handle objections in your content. This is where you go from being someone they follow to being someone they trust. And proof content, which is bottom of funnel. And this is where you're gonna be hearing the sound of cha-ching, cha-ching. Basically, this is where you close. Think about testimonials, case studies, client results. You own a sales core, real outcomes, results, transformation from real people. But if you do not have any results yet, that is totally fine. Because your proof can be the time, the energy, and the obsession you have put into your skill set. So you can say something like, I have been studying personal branding for 3 years, or I have been studying nutrition for 5 years if you're a fitness coach. So remember this, you need to know who you're talking to before you figure out what you stand for, before you decide what to post. That's it. The reason why all of these brands you see on screen are winning right now is because they know exactly who they're talking to. They have built an identity that nobody else can replicate. And every piece of content they post has one clear job. So master your ICP, dream follower, your brand identity, and your content strategy. And that is the blueprint. And if you don't want to figure all this out alone and want me to handle your entire content system, scripting, editing, and strategy, there is a link in the description below. You can book a call. I know you don't care.